As numbers on the streets have swelled throughout the morning, state media have said that 8 out of 10 regional branches of the governing ZANU-PF party have passed a vote of no confidence in the president. Mr Mugabe has been under house arrest since a military takeover 4 days ago.
No, basically, we are Zimbabweans. We're saying to our army, thank you very much for the peaceful intervention, and it's time for the masses of Zimbabwe to say Mugabe must go, and must go like yesterday. We can't wait to see his back.
For us, it's about a new beginning. For us, it's about the end of a tyrant rule, and we are going to take our Zimbabwe back.
As you can see, people are flooding in from all parts of Harare into the city centre. There's an incredible atmosphere of excitement, of anticipation. Now is the moment they sense Robert Mugabe is gone. His age is over. They're no longer afraid. That's why they're here on the streets.
Well, that was our Africa editor, Fergal Keane, in Harare. More from him throughout the morning and the day, of course. Another of our correspondents, Andrew Harding, our Africa correspondent, can bring us the latest on the ground. Andrew, I've heard you throughout the morning describing some of that excitement. What does it feel like to you?
It feels, well, as everyone's telling me, like a revolution. The mood here is one of delirium, of ecstasy. I'm just walking past an armoured personnel carrier here. Thousands of Zimbabweans converging on all these streets, and here people mobbing the military, thanking them for the coup that triggered this. It's extraordinary, the smiles, the grins, everybody coming together with one focus for now, and that is getting rid of President Mugabe. The fear that kept so many people in check for years has lifted with the permission of the military and of ZANU-PF, who authorized today's events. And now people are going quite, as I say, delirious with happiness, with hope that President Mugabe will very soon step down. And when you ask them, then what? People say that this has gone beyond something that ZANU-PF can control, that there is such a groundswell now of hope and passion for real change here. So it will be very interesting, I think, in the days and weeks ahead, the extent to which ZANU-PF can manipulate this, control this, and keep its iron grip on power.
Andrew, I mean, clearly what you're seeing around you at the moment is excitement, energy, and people believing that Zimbabwe is moving into a new phase. And yet, are there people who are worried about the future of the country? I don't know. Are there people queuing up in shops and stockpiling goods and trying to get money out of banks?
Well, they are, because that hasn't changed. The economy is in crisis, unemployment soaring, the currency struggling. Well, it's not Zimbabwe's currency. They use the American dollar here now. And people are still worried. Those queuing outside banks have not stopped queuing. People are experiencing real hardship here. And whether or not ZANU-PF under new leadership or a more inclusive transitional government can change that fast enough to satisfy people remains to be seen. But I think there will now be a grace period for whatever government takes shape here. I think international investors, international governments who have imposed sanctions on President Mugabe and those close to him will now be rushing in here, hoping they can help push Zimbabwe to open up, to improve its economic performance and to change the lives of millions here.
All right, well, Andrew Harding on the streets of Harare. We'll leave it with you for now. Let's go live to also to Zimbabwe, where Ben Brown can bring us the latest. And Ben, if we can talk the politics for a moment. We had the number of ZANU-PF parties, regional branches, 8 out of 10 of them, Ben, now saying that they support this move to try and get rid of the president. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that's hugely significant, Matthew, because you've got ZANU-PF, the ruling party, turning against Robert Mugabe, demanding that he goes. The votes of no confidence in him, also saying they're going to have a meeting of the Central Committee this weekend. And the point is, if he doesn't resign voluntarily, either in the next few hours or in the next couple of days, there's going to be a move to impeach him. There's talk of impeaching him maybe on Tuesday. That would all be put into motion by ZANU-PF itself. So you've got ZANU-PF, his own party, against him now. You've got the military against him. If you walk around the streets here, it's very hard to find anybody who's prepared to say that they want Robert Mugabe to stay as president. He hasn't really got hardly any friends or allies left. So it must be only a matter of time before he goes. Does he resign of his own free will, maybe in return for guarantees about his safety, either staying here in Zimbabwe or being given safe passage abroad into exile with his family? We'll just have to wait and see.
Is this... Andrew Harding was describing moments almost of ecstasy for people, but this is not a moment for Zimbabwe without political and therefore national danger, is it?
No, and there's huge uncertainty. You have to think about this really as a power struggle within ZANU-PF. There were elements around Emerson Mnangagwa, who was the vice president, who was pushed out by Grace Mugabe, Robert Mugabe's wife, and the military side